Hello, hello, hello. What is up, my virtual friends and fanatics?
What's
Welcome to the
up?
ODP. That is the OddlyDodd podcast, which is your ultimate hangout for all things sports, hobby, hype, and the fan life that you live and breathe.
That's right.
That's right. This is Jason. I'm here with my twin brother, Josh.
Josh.
And every week we'll be diving headfirst into the crazy world of sports and all things collectibles. We will have your jaw-dropping highlights and insane fan moments, fantasy league drama, and even the collectibles that you've been dying to get your hands on. And let's not forget, we want to see some of that odd stuff out there. We want to see some stuff that you never knew you wanted until now.
That's right.
If it's got a crowd, a scoreboard, a collector's market, we're talking about it. Football, basketball, Pokemon, Magic the Gathering, baseball, whatever it is that gets your adrenaline pumping, we are here for it, and we are here for you. Plus, we are bringing in fan stories, hot takes, and some hobby hacks, and definitely a few wild debates along the way. A little bit of randomness, and after all, we're going to keep it odd, because this is the ODP, where there is no such thing as too much passion.
Right, ODP.
Yep, so get out your jersey, crack your drink, and let's get this game day party started. Welcome to the ODP.
ODP.
Hello, hello, hello. What's going on, my man?
What's up, dude? How you doing, man?
Hey, all things good. All things good.
That's right. So this is our first run at this, right? So
That's right. That's right. So let's give the audience a little idea of what we're going to talk about today.
right.
Yeah. So real quick, we'll be going into the origins. I think this is what this episode is going to be called. Number one, numero uno here. And so the origins, of what it is to become a fan. We're going to touch on that. Collecting, all things collectibles. After all, this is what started this idea here of this podcast. So we want to talk
That's
about
right.
getting into collectibles and all things there. We're going to touch on NBA updates, the NHL updates, NFL updates. Oh, that's a big
Draft.
one right there too, right?
That's
Draft.
right.
Hello. All right.
Uh-huh.
And then I want to give an update. Well, this will be things collectible for some Panini and Tops.
Oh,
The
cool. Yeah,
Mighty
man.
Showdown. I don't know if you know this, but there's been some big updates lately.
Yeah. No, I don't know everything with it, but I
Oh
guess we'll
man,
touch on that.
that's right. That's right. So yeah, let's get it started. The
Yeah,
origins,
dive
right?
right
So
into it, right?
yeah, how did this OddlyDodd?
Right. I mean, obviously Dodd is our last name. Great. But,
Mhm.
credit to you as we were talking and I don't know, I can't remember exactly the topic, but you thought of the name. So tell me where it came
Yeah.
from. How'd you think
So
of it?
other than the fact that I was driving to work and we had to come up with a name, it's
Yeah.
just it stuck out for certain because over the years thinking about how socially awkward we've been over the years, which is going to surprise a lot of our close friends now
Sure.
because you and I both we're pretty social people, and
Yeah.
I think the idea that we had any sort of social awkwardness, and like myself, I was an introvert for a long period of time, mainly
Right.
because I did not understand like the social constructs of what was acceptable and what wasn't, what was a quote unquote cool,
Sure.
how to fit in, because I just kind of liked what I liked, and regardless of what people thought about it, I just kind of tried to keep on with it. Stuff like, I think I mentioned Magic the Gathering. I
Yeah,
started
dude.
playing that young years, and then even roll it back further. Magic, like illusion. So now you see it.
Right. Thinking that magic was cool. Which it
Yeah,
is. I
yeah.
mean, don't get me wrong. I don't judge,
Oh,
right? I
dude,
mean,
I
magic
still
was
think it's
cool.
cool. Are you kidding me?
But
Anything you make it disappear, I'm pretty amazed.
right, and magicians are always weird anyway, right? So they're always awkward. But and
Absolutely.
we were really into it. I mean, we shared the same magic book on how tos and stuff like that, right?
Look, if you go back home to mom and dad's house, right to this day, our bathroom mirror still has, if it fogs up,
So that was
if it
me.
fogs up when you have a shower, if it fogs up right there, you will see the ace of spades.
Yeah,
Not to
that's
tell on one of those tricks, but there's something
yeah, that
that's
was me,
involved with
mom and
that.
dad. I took
That
a
was you.
butane lighter to the mirror to make it in
Yeah,
there,
don't
but
give
you
the
won't see it.
secret away.
Come on, it's illusion.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
But so then, yeah, you we came up with it years ago before you even thought of this idea, right?
Oh yeah, I mean the play on the name with Dodd, being a Dodd is pretty awesome. There's plenty of stuff
It's fun.
that can go with it, rhyme with it, and for certain, I think that's the one thing that resonated the most was odd,
Right.
which I'm okay with. I love embracing my weirdness. Sometimes I realize it's a little too weird, so I have to rein it back a little bit. But
Right.
what about you? I mean, what resonates with you the most?
So, I have two boys, and
Mhm.
one's neurotypical, one's neurodivergent, which is on the spectrum for autism. For those of you that don't know, so it's just thinking differently, right? So neurodivergent is odd. You don't pick up on all the social cues, maybe. And so, as we all know, bullying is real, and kids are mean. Our
Yeah, they
awkwardness
don't like
and
that.
our right, and the height of
Yeah,
our awkwardness was definitely middle school and elementary
uh,
school.
hate middle
And
school. Worst.
so the boys were really worried about being bullied, and they, troubled with the bullying. So something to take away the ammunition was, since they
Mm,
were being called odd or weird. No, let's own it, because that's a good thing. Is being different, setting yourself
right.
apart. So I then became, I guess, more active in drawing cartoons and stuff just to make them happy and stuff, to help
Mhm.
them kind of relate with just cool things or weird things or odd. Just like here, like, so I go by the pseudonym for my artwork is OddlyDodd in
Mhm.
effort to be proud of the difference.
Nice.
And so, yeah, that's where we got it from.
That's awesome. I mean, so it hit home, and here it is. We're
Here it is.
rolling it out to the world. We
That's
want
right.
to make it a thing. We hope that you guys do too, and so we're hoping to get some following here. And
That's right.
yeah, let's see what this baby becomes.
So, speaking of what becomes, um, even though we like to say we're odd and different, we are identical twins, if no one ever noticed.
Yeah.
So, identical twins being the same, but
Mm,
vastly different as well. And we
yeah.
have our own fanship of different things, right?
Sure. We
So,
sure
who,
do. Yeah.
who are you a
Absolutely.
fan of?
I am a fan of the one and the only, the great Kansas City Chiefs. All right.
Whatever. Yep.
Don't
Whatever.
whatever. I'm telling you, I've loved them. And just to give you the origin story of the fandom there, right?
Yeah.
So the Chief fan, it's really easy for people just to assume because I am not from Kansas City. Full disclosure, I am from Virginia. We are from Virginia. And so at the time when we were growing up, we were surrounded by Redskins. At the time,
Yeah.
it was the Redskins, now Commanders.
We're skin everything.
And
And now
it was,
Commanders.
my gosh, it was pushed down your throat everywhere because they were good. They actually had that stint of really really good
Yeah.
stuff there. Well, they had a Super Bowl and they were an interesting team to watch, but I'm too young to really appreciate it too much. And plus, I didn't. It was since it was all in your face. It was really hard for me to gravitate towards it. And then we had our grandfather that was jamming the darn Pittsburgh
Yeah,
Steelers
like
down our throat, and the funny thing is our dad was actually a quiet, very quiet Browns fan. And because,
that's true.
him being from Akron, Ohio, he never really spoke about it. So our dad really followed more of the players.
Right. And he
And
liked
so
Joe Montana.
he loved, and I loved Joe
Well,
Montana.
who
So I
doesn't? I
watched it
mean, it's
because I
Joe
watched it with
Montana.
dad. I mean, yeah. I mean, he was just amazing.
Hmm.
It's so incredible. And then just watch him at some of those things. So I can remember like the most impactful time, a sports time in our life. And this is a weird thing to say that this is the most impactful, which is what gave me my love of football was that big Super Bowl party that our dad threw
Oh,
and our
yeah.
parents threw.
Yep.
And it was massive and it was so much fun. Joe Montana was up there on the big screen and he told me if anyone asks you who you're cheering for, make sure you tell them San Francisco 49ers because of Joe Montana. And
Right.
just a little kid, just like, okay, this sounds great. And watching it,
Yep.
it was amazing. And I loved it. You remember that year they had the
Oh,
3D
yeah.
glasses that you got out of
The
the
commercial
Pepsi
for
can?
Pepsi. That's right.
Yeah,
That's
it
right.
was amazing.
Dang.
Oh, that was exciting. Boy, they put some
It
hype out
was.
there on that stuff, right?
They
But all it
marketed
was
that
little
like crazy.
motorcycles and stuff going like this, right? Just across the screen, and it was all
It,
3D, three dimensional.
Dude,
Did
imagine
you
like
remember it?
now. Like, yes, I remember it. Daggone, dude. We had our little
Yeah, I
little
can remember
kids
it very
section under
clearly.
the table and stuff or whatever it was.
Oh yeah, but
But
so that's
and
essentially, and after that, so people are still wondering why. Well, Kansas that's not Kansas City. Joe
no,
Montana did
but
retire and then came back as a chief in 93, 94.
And that's where
So
you
that's when
became.
yeah, that's when it sunk in and I switched all my gear out. I literally threw a lot of my stuff away to switch to Kansas City and then
That's right.
and he retired and it was like, I'm lost. I guess I'm a Kansas City Chiefs fan because I could have gone back to 49ers. It would have been easy. And
Hell yeah,
Steve
because it
Young
was
is
Steve
just
Young.
an
Jesus,
amazing
it
person
was
to watch.
right,
But for
and it
some
still had
reason,
Jerry Rice too, man. Jesus,
yeah, I don't know why. I just felt like I was
you
stuck
just
there
stayed there.
because I was like, I didn't follow Steve Young that much because I was following Joe. And then Joe left me with the Chiefs, and I'm now still a Chiefs fan. And it was a tough time. Holy crap,
Right.
tough.
Well, and so that same time frame is where I became. Obviously, I had to be the adversary, and
Yeah.
you went for the red team, and I went for the green
Mhm.
team, and I have
That's
been a
right.
fan ever since that green team has made it to the Super Bowl with Dan Marino.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the so I became a fan the last time they went to the Super Bowl and has been a fan since, but they haven't been back since.
They've they have not. They've struggled quite a bit.
But I'm still a diehard Finn fan, so I
Yeah.
am a
Yeah.
hardcore Doll
It's a tough.
fan.
Yeah. Well, and I
But
think this is actually the funny thing is the way that we selected it sums up like our twinness
right,
being like, you know, red, green. We're you and I were
opposite,
both like mirror twins or
right?
opposite, you know? So even though people identify you as the one person, yes, we're identical twins. And if for those of did we already explain that? Those of you who don't know, identical means that you come from the same egg. It does not
Split
mean that you
evenly
look
from the spread.
alike
That's
for
right.
forever. So that's fraternal twins are two separate eggs. But
All right, we're not
anyway,
getting into health class
little
here.
knowledge there. But
So we became a fan there for football, but then everybody has their own fanship with certain things for many different reasons, and then you got the
yeah,
bandwagon fans, and you got this, but there's
bandwagon.
usually
Why is that such a bad term? I'm wondering why is bandwagon fan bad?
I
Who doesn't love
people hate
winners?
them. Well,
Actually,
people hate bandwagon fans because or fair weather fans
right,
because it's annoying. I think is the most reason. That's my thought. It's just
right,
annoying,
right. Well, and you
but
have to
it's
have
not.
it just I feel like the assumption that it lacks creativity because people choose the winners. But
Sure,
honestly, however you choose that, it doesn't mean you're going to be forever winning, right?
right.
It's has its ups and downs, and fair weather just that's kind of
It
what a lot of
brings
people do when
revenue.
they become when they become those bandwagon fans. I'm thinking like maybe that's where you have the fair weather, right? They're in and out because it's hard to really develop a strong love for something when you choose someone that's at the top and then they
Yeah,
fall off. I don't know. And this is just me making the assumption. But for me coming into Kansas City, they came in and that was the last, 94 was the last year they won a playoff game before Mahomes came in, right?
right.
A postseason playoff game. But, and so that's where I can remember, man, when they won the Super Bowl. I mean, you were there. I was in tears. It was just so much emotion
It
because
was a
they
lot.
won it, they were at the bottom. And so making that choice of being a Kansas City fan when they were not so great was just, I didn't know what I was getting myself into because it was a
Right.
lot of years of hurt. Real, like you can tell about that. You can share a little bit more about what hurts, can't you?
I
Recently.
certainly, sure as shit can. I'm telling you what.
Oh
God.
man.
But I mean, hey, you got your people that you go for, that you gun for. This all ties into collecting and why we collect, right? Because you really
Right. That's
want
right.
to feel that win, right? You want to feel that hope. And Tua is my man. I mean,
Tua
he's awesome,
he is
regardless of
actually
the
an
hate.
excellent, yeah, excellent, outstanding quarterback, despite what people will rag on
Uh-huh.
him for. Like he can't
Sure.
take a hit or this, that, and the other. He's going to blow up, and the next time he takes a hit, who knows? Um,
Whatever. You can't deny the fact that he is the best thing since Dan Marino because of
for
his.
that team,
I mean, his stats show it first and foremost on the pace he's going, and
right?
yeah, he's had injuries and setbacks. Of course, there's always going to be that, but also I'm biased. I'm a fan. I'm going to push that extra hope behind it, and but that's why we pay stupid prices for tickets to go see
Mhm.
them and vacations or memorabilia for that hope. That's what's it worth to you? And it all kind of correlates with the trading and why it's so fun to get into it. And it's
Yeah.
very addictive too, because like, I mean, you can
Oh yeah.
really have fun with it, get lost in it.
It flirts. Let's be honest. If it flirts the line with gambling, because you're opening up that pack. That's where
Yeah,
that really gets that excitement going. Is when you open that pack. It's like scratching off a ticket or doing a lotto or something like playing cards, whatever
right.
you want to call it. It's that chance that you open
Yeah,
up and something crazy, and that's the love of it. But the
yeah,
cool thing with it is you get a number of different cards, and sometimes you see some things that are like, whoa, this is
sure.
a really cool card. I'm just
Right.
gonna hold on to it, despite it being your team. That's kind of the cool part about that is it lets you learn about a lot of the other players in that sport.
Yeah.
Um, and I think, apart from like fantasy is
Uh-huh.
a great channel for you to learn all of the players in the sport.
Yeah.
I think sports collectibles are also one of those avenues that you can, I think my knowledge of different players in the league has grown tremendously since collecting different cards.
I
You
hope
know,
so.
not
I
just
mean,
fantasy. Because fantasy, you're just gunning for like the top players of who's got the yardage,
right.
right? It's rare that you're going to see some of the different defensive players unless you're a single defensive team where you can
Right.
individual players. But
Like you'll never see these people that you just bust open a pack of, brand new cards of the season that just started, right? And then you go through the less than famous individuals. You get the ones that are hopeful. You sometimes get the draft picks, the names that you never heard of, and it definitely gives you a well-rounded approach on understanding the players, where they've come from, where they're going. I know because it's moving so fast. This is, I
right.
think, part of the reason why people are so easily bandwagon fans or fair weather
Mhm.
fans, because the dynamic changing of players, teams. I mean, shoot, Las Vegas Raiders. It's kind of funny,
Yeah,
but I mean,
I
teams
mean,
change, people change so
they do, they
fast.
do. I mean, that is the challenge of following the teams and staying with them, and that's also the beauty behind it. That's why um, I'll just put that out there. Be careful about getting those tattoos. You never know when a team's going to be traded. St. Louis Rams.
Yep.
Ouch.
So, I
But
mean,
that I
but
mean,
you,
but it still makes a true fan. And so today, just looking at all these different sports, I want to be a bigger fan. And especially with us doing this has actually inspired me to become more of a fan in all the different sports. We follow football. I follow hockey. Go Canes right now with the NHL
go
playoffs.
Canes.
Go Canes. Come on. Burn it down, baby. And then I don't really follow NBA. I did for a time follow basketball back in the
Right.
day. It was, if it wasn't Michael Jordan, then it was the Lakers because they were
Lakers.
the good teams, right?
Yeah.
But
Well,
I
that's
don't know
easy.
why. All right, right. It was easy. The Lakers were easy. They
Uh huh.
just were fun to watch. Honestly, they just have always had talent over the years, and
Oh yeah.
um, I don't know why I fell out of love of basketball. I was a Duke fan for a little bit, and I can't consider myself a fan anymore because when
Right.
COVID happened, I actually stopped following college basketball. And
Wow.
baseball,
Yeah, that's right. And
yeah,
I
and
mean,
baseball, I never really big,
baseball's in all fairness now, baseball, there's you got when you're a diehard fan, you're a diehard fan. But the
right.
best experience possible for baseball is absolutely at the stadium. And they have
Oh,
so many games a year that you can absolutely
uh-huh,
catch one. I mean, it's nice on TV and everything, gives you the close ups and stuff like that.
yeah,
And it's kind of, it's nice. But in all fairness, for me personally, it was hard to keep track of so many games.
right,
And
right.
sometimes when it's a slow game, it's a slow game.
Right. No, and that is the challenge there. If it's not this game, we'll pick it up on the one of the other 100 games that's coming up. But
Right.
nothing beats being at the baseball stadium is just so unique and fun. I don't
Yeah,
know. As I'm wearing my Chili Peppers hat, honestly, that
that's
was
right.
one of the funnest neon cosmic matches I've ever seen. It was so unreal.
Yeah.
Talk about adding a little bit of spice to a darn baseball game. That was fun.
So all these
So
things though keep it interesting, right? And so like
right.
trading cards are the same thing, or memorabilia is the same thing. Like whatever that jersey is, or the game worn jersey, it keeps the excitement with these people. I mean, they
Mhm.
like even just giving away motorcycle, right?
Oh my gosh, the Canes and the our brother-in-law won a drawing for a Harley Davidson Fat Boy that had a custom painted
Yeah,
tank and fender of the Canes. It was
that's
it was
right.
beautiful.
That's right.
Yeah.
And
I actually
it was the year before strike and the year
yeah,
before and 2 years before they won the Stanley Cup.
that's right. That's right. And I tell you, and I think that's when he sold it. Was
No,
because it was that.
it sold it before that, right? Or after. I can't remember
Right
when he
before,
did.
that's right, that's right. I can't remember exactly when, but he sold it
It
like right
was right
before or
before it
something like that. He would have
because
it would have
had he
gone for
held on.
mint. That's
See, that's
right.
what we
Okay.
chase. That's what we
Yeah.
chase.
That's
That
right. So holding
excitement
on the
of
card too long. This is just a note out there, guys. Like when to let go of something, when to tuck it away, how do
take
we
that
know?
chance.
I mean, it's crazy to think about, like the cards that we had once, the big losses, the big misses, and the ones that we're wishing for,
That's right.
that we keep looking to open up. But
It's
yeah, let's take
crazy
a
though.
minute real quick. Speaking of hockey, do you have
Yeah.
any updates on the hockey games?
Shoot you. Yeah, we're right midway
Let's
in
talk
on the.
playoffs
So as far as the playoffs are concerned, right now,
right
so
now.
we have. Let's see here. We got Avalanche and Stars are playing right now, right?
Yeah.
And it's tied 2-2. So we got two more games to play.
Is
And
that
right,
is that tied in the
Stars,
series you're saying?
yeah, tied in the series. And so
Okay.
Stars are up 1-0. The
Okay.
Canes are doing awesome. They're
Yes, they
they're
are.
so they are let's see, up 3-1.
Right.
And
I mean, that was a
let's
crushing overtime loss. I swear they did.
oh
That
dude,
was amazing for them to come back like they did, but that shot there at the end,
did you
crazy.
see that goal that he said the goalie saved when he was
That
flat
was
on his
amazing
face
mitt work.
and he
I'm
just
telling you what, that glove
holy
was just boom like a cat. It was
I
awesome.
know. So we got a handful of other people. I mean, it's pretty even in the series, except right now the Eastern Conference is just blowing everyone away. It's 3-1 all the way down, and
It's
Western Conference is 2-2 all the way down. So
yeah. And I don't
it's
know
it's
if
kind of
that's
crazy.
because the East is just that good,
You sure?
or like you have the those, or the East is just that separated of like the top notch people, like that.
Top notch.
You know what I
Whoa.
mean? What I mean by that is like you have the fewer top tier ones right there, so they're just narrowing it down, or that the Western part is just they have all of the teams that are really good and brutal. You know what I mean? There's more of the
I
of the,
see what you're
the talent there in the
saying.
Western. Like, what is it
I
really?
think it's coincidental, really, on that front, because I can't say that. Because I mean, whoever's in it right now, you got your stars, right? Like you got
Yeah.
Edmonton Oilers, who has McGregor, who's just insane.
I
But
mean,
then you got
honestly, Connor is just yeah, his numbers are ridiculous.
yeah. And speaking of Connor, right? So those hockey fans out there, I'll tell you a little bit of something. And this is my opinion again. Look out for like Connor Bedard, right? He's on and arguably one of the worst teams next to San Jose Sharks. Because San Jose, I think they won 20 games this season. So, sorry, guys, y'all are awful right now.
Yeah.
But then you got Chicago. So you got Connor Bedard, who I think this season he scored 102 goals or 100 goals, something crazy, and which outscored Alex Ovechkin, who Ovechkin on the
Oh,
Caps, he beat the great one,
the great.
the
The
great one.
great. That is insane, first of
I
all. And if you don't
can't
know who we're talking about,
fathom that.
it's Wayne Gretzky. He just
Wayne Gretzky.
I mean, for a freaking for someone to have a record like that for years without it being broken is just unreal.
Well, the crazier thing is the next person in line is a staggering amount away, and
Right.
then the next active one is even further. So it's like, I mean, this is a record that's going to hold true for quite some time. But Ovechkin is
Mm-hmm.
up there now, right, dude?
Oh,
You're up there.
yeah,
The
hats
same
off to you,
tier.
Ovechkin. That's amazing.
The
And
argument can
so
be
so
done in different times with a different amount of time, but no, it was within one game. Like crazy stats. Hockey is getting more aggressive. They changed some rules, sure, to keep it more active, but that's to gain more viewership and stuff. So, we it's fun. But then we got to go and speaking of active right now, I was just looking at some updates too because we got the scores on some of the standings in NBA too because the NBA is going on right now.
And let's talk about the NBA real quick. About the hottest game that I just saw a score pop up.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
You want to say which one it is? Go ahead.
The Cavs,
My God. They
138.
insane point spread. I think it's the largest one ever. Is that right?
I don't know. I can't. I can Google
I'm
that, but
pretty sure that that's at least in the franchise. I think that's one of the largest spreads ever in their franchise history. Insane. I mean, the
yeah,
Heat.
dude.
Yeah, you can't even call that Heat. They were
I
just
think,
there was a big old bucket of water on them. I
and
swear they
we were
couldn't get
doing
anything
this.
going.
I don't know what happened, and so it's like I didn't get to catch that game, right? I just see the
Right,
scores,
right,
and I'll have to do some updates. But what happened? Something had to happen because I mean, Miami made
I
it
don't
for a
know.
reason,
Right.
but they didn't win one game this series, and the
Yep.
Cavs are hot. I mean,
Right.
they're really on fire. But then you got OKC that's gone also 4-0 in the series, and they move past quickly.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
my team, Lakers, need to step it up. They're 3-1. They're down.
Right.
Can they sweep them? I don't know,
That's gonna be a
but they
tough
really need
one.
to step. Yeah, to come back from that, it's. I mean, we'll see.
Yeah.
But got some other good games too. Like again, the Eastern Conference is pretty stacked. I mean, 3-1 Pacers and Bucks, 3-1 Knicks and Pistons, 3-1 Celtics and Magic. So I mean, Boston is up 3-1. Knicks are up 3-1. Pacers are up 3-1. And then you
Oh
got
yeah.
Western Conference, who still like Lakers are down 3-1. But then you got Golden State Warriors lead 2-1. So we got some exciting stuff there. And this
Yeah.
is just right mid, so we still got more to talk about there here later.
Oh yeah.
However, it's exciting. Get into it if you want to watch. Like this is an easy way for people to come become fans. You
They're
miss all
right
the
now
games
at this
on.
time.
Yes, right. This is the exciting time. This is when the best of the best make it.
It really is, and I mean, honestly, that's what I love is this playoff time. That's when it really starts to get heated up, and you see some really
That's right.
crazy things happening.
Yeah, the
So,
best plays, the best things that happen. So this is where you become a fan because these are memories that will last, and that's how you become that loyal fan.
oh yeah,
So this is a good time to catch it. But we also, I mean, big news. We had a great draft. Well,
oh
I
yeah,
say
get back
great.
NFL baby, NFL
Yep.
draft. What about it? How about it, man? What are your thoughts? What are your takeaway? How are you feeling about the Miami draft?
I mean, dude, I'm a Miami fan, right?
Yeah, I mean, but
However, as
you could be a fan, but how do you feel about the draft? How do you feel? Do you feel
I
like
love it. I mean, I do. There was one question mark that I was wondering why. I mean, of course, I'm not the coach. I was wondering why we took a running back, another one so high. A lot of people question also, well, maybe not a lot of people question Quinn Ewers. I thought that was a huge value. I'm a Longhorn fan. So that was
yeah.
like, it was crazy because I have a Quinn Ewers that the Prism Saturday Night Star autograph card that he had for the draft picks,
Yeah.
and it's a great card. When I pulled it, I think it was like valued at like the last sale was like 250. I don't know what it
Is that
runs
right?
for now.
Okay.
Yeah, it was right around 250,
Nice.
but I still got it, and I was thinking about selling it. Then I was like, hell no, this is the future.
Nice.
I think we got ourselves a value pick. Des Bryant even tweeted about it or whatever you want to call it, twatted or you know, however you say it.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
he
I
said
think it's
he
called
called him
XL.
Dan Marino 2.0. That's Des. He said,
Yeah.
"Oh no, yeah, 2.0. He's coming up under a quarterback friendly coach who knows how to develop these guys under a seasoned veteran so he can learn the ropes and take over when needed. Great backup. You know, I personally think over Zach Wilson, yeah, we got
Hmm.
depth for finally getting some line on offense and defense, steel on offense. So
I mean,
we got
they
some great picks there.
some of those big. I mean, they got Quinn late. I mean, he was in that seventh round.
Yeah,
Came
he
up
was
late
real late.
there.
He was.
And well, I mean, that's great value, I guess. Right.
That's right.
Speaking of that, like, how is being Kansas City fan, I'm looking at their
Right.
draft and how we were able to get Jalen Royals in the fourth. That how he slipped down in the fourth. That's probably one of my favorite picks, actually. And because
Is
we
it?
need to give Pat Mahomes more freaking opportunity. He's a wide receiver from Utah State, but I'm telling you, like, great kid. He's a top player, good
Yeah.
skill, good speed. And honestly, we just need to add to our regiment. If we can get, I mean, think about this. All right. As far as offense goes, we're getting Rashi Rice back. We're getting,
Right.
hopefully, everyone's good with all the whole stupid. Hopefully, they can keep their head on straight this time. Stop
Yeah.
getting into trouble. But you get him going right. We
Right.
got Xavier Worthy going. Hopefully he can get his shit straight too. Stay out of
Right.
trouble, guys.
Right.
Then we got Hollywood Brown, having him come back, and then we can get Jalen Royals going. We got Travis Kelsey coming back.
Right.
And let's not forget about Noah Gray, who's been training under freaking Travis Kelsey for years, and he is standing up strong. He is showing
Yeah.
up in a big way. So I'm looking forward to him this year as well. But of all these big ammunition pieces that we have, the offense is going to be stellar.
Heck
Not to
yeah.
mention
You got
the
Josh
big one that we took.
Simmons.
Round one, we Josh Simmons, right? So the big
Dude, it
question
was
mark for him,
he was awesome.
he was. Now, if he can come back from that ACL tear, that or AC whatever it was a knee injury or something. But he came off of a knee injury, right? So let's consider, hopefully, like, he gets fully healthy. That's a tough one to take round one. That's
Right. Right.
still, he is a solid pick, and I'm really thrilled that he got him. Actually, I'm glad that the freaking Commanders skipped him so that we could
Right.
get him. That was good for us. So
Well,
I'm
now
okay with it.
how about this though? Like we can talk about our teams all the time, but I mean, in the world of collectibles, we got to know like the value of other things. In your opinion, now that we got some cards coming out, probably being made as we speak, what do you feel like was one of your favorite picks on the
Oh,
whole thing, on the whole draft? What was your thinking that, oh man, I like this pick for them? What was your favorite value pick?
that is a great question. Great value pick. Um,
I got mine easy. Mine. I had to call a buddy when it happened. Mine's easy, and I'll tell you
okay,
while you think of yours. Mine
okay,
was Tyler Warren for the Indianapolis Colts. This
yeah, okay,
kid, 6'6", tight end that is
yeah,
just got a
yeah. Penn State,
wingspan of
right?
like yeah, that's right. And
Mhm,
this guy has, I mean, when you look at him play, he
mhm.
has the essence of Gronk. And being a Dolphin fan, I know Gronk's plays well because we played him twice a year.
Yeah,
Shit, I hate to love him because he's such a cool dude, and he's just
yeah,
he plays his character perfectly. Love the guy. Hate to play against him. Scary as fuck. But this
right.
Tyler Warren, mark my words, I called it last year with Brock Bowers.
Brad Brock,
I
Brock
I
is just,
called that shit.
you
He's
did, you
nasty.
did, yeah,
I'm telling you right now, Tyler Warren has every bit of the capability. I personally think that was the best value pick. Anthony Richardson can now get comfortable. His card values will go up because he
yeah,
can now sit comfortable with someone who's going to snatch it. He don't have to go
mhm,
deep, and he
yeah.
always overthrows his players. So boom, 6'6", got someone high.
I love
So
it. Oh, I
I
love it.
love the pick.
So
That's
does
my
that mean
favorite.
Anthony Richardson's card's going to come back?
I
I
think
sure as
so.
hell hope so.
I think so. But if not, they picked up another stellar quarterback just in case. However,
Right.
I think this is one of the best value picks of the draft, and seeing a change in Indianapolis. We'll see, and we'll come up with an episode since this is recorded. We'll check
Yeah.
later to see how accurate that is. But I think it's
Yeah.
going to
No
put
doubt. No
Indy on
doubt.
the map.
No doubt. So my favorite pick, all right, is a Colorado player,
Oh,
but not the one you think. It's
it's
Travis
not shooting.
Hunter.
Okay, okay,
No, it's
okay.
Travis Hunter. And I'll say that for Travis Hunter,
Dude, I love that
yes,
kid.
I think Jacksonville fans were a little bit, question mark, because we just had, they just had Brian, right, from, what is it, junior last year, that they took number one, or
Yeah.
they took the top. But then they had, now adding Travis Hunter. He is a unique player because he can do both offense and defense.
Right.
So just
Great
in case,
value.
wide receiver, or he's a cornerback,
And plays
right? So,
both
and
just as well.
great at both of those. So just I just see this kid being something big for them. And
Sure,
the Jacksonville Jaguars need something. I mean, they've been struggling for years.
sure.
So I'd love to see them turn around as they start to add some
Right.
more
And
weapons
he's
there.
got huge locker room etiquette, right? Like this kid is he brings fire to the locker room. I love the kid. I mean, even dancing on stage and stuff, the kid's just fun to watch, right?
Right.
And so
Right.
I was super excited about that pick as well.
Mhm.
Thought that Jacksonville and needed something like that too. Something pretty I want to say flashy, but someone who has who's very uplifting, very positive.
Oh yeah.
So like after Trevor Lawrence gets back completely under his
Uh,
comfortable in his skin again, and I think he's going to
yeah.
feel a lot more ease with him, and you'll start to see like his cards right now will probably go off the shelf. Every single first round pick, you got cards that you're looking at. And even like and tell me, have you noticed anything on the offensive defensive linemen that like you have some picks that you noticed? I did last year, like they were going up in price. Like these people are
Yeah.
searching out these offensive and defensive linemen now, right?
Mhm. Uh-huh. Yeah. No, there's a couple of them out there, and it's we need a there needs to be some diversification on the cards anyway,
Yeah,
because it seems so heavy on the quarterbacks, which is why 2024 season or our prospects have been so amazing.
sure.
Uh, I mean, look at the amount of quarterbacks that were drafted last year. That's
Yeah.
why all collectibles for football 2024 is going like crazy right now, because I mean, you can open up a box and you're going to have at 3 or 4 quarterbacks that
Uh-huh.
are potential starters or are starters, between
Right.
between Drake, Caleb, and
Uh-huh.
JJ, and I mean, shoot, Michael Penix, Jaden Daniels, like all of these amazing quarterbacks now that are in the league. I don't want to say it's saturated, but geez, you're gonna have your pick of the litter right now. And speaking of quarterbacks, actually, what is your thought about the New Orleans Saints drafting another quarterback round two?
That
Tyler
was
Show.
interesting. Yeah, that was interesting actually. I
Yeah,
don't
I mean, who's
I
their
don't know.
guy? Who's going to be their
Well,
guy? I
I
mean,
don't
Derek
think they know.
injury
Well, yeah, but
having
he's injured ridden and stuff like that. Yeah, but you can't rely on I mean Spencer Rattler is good. I think he's probably the best one right now.
but I mean, between him, Jake
Or
Hayner,
Hayner.
I'm not sure where he's at right now, but he's not. He didn't really. He had a few chances, and he hasn't really shown up.
Yeah, but now see, these are the times like as we're talking about this is like we don't know. Everybody's suspect until we start to see preseason and people develop better. Some people have a off year and they don't get started until like Drew Brees didn't actually start playing like
Right.
kicking ass until he got to the Saints, right?
Right.
I mean, he was always good, but man, people start to develop in different places.
Yeah.
So but then you have like those cards that you can put value in. So that's where you get those chances, right? So you get those numbered cards that have autographs, Spencer Rattler, if there is any, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? And these are the hits that
Yeah.
people try to make. Because I remember you last year tried to put stock in Clayton Tune,
Oh
right?
gosh. I got so many different cards for Clayton Tune. I was like,
Yep.
yes, Clayton Tune. He actually, for numbers wise, he was looking great in college. And I thought for sure, like, this kid's going to do something. And I say kid, he's one of the older quarterbacks
Yeah.
that was in
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
league. As he, there's a little weird when, some of these kids coming from the COVID years, there's just a little bit of a stall just
Yeah.
on a few of those quarterbacks. But anyway, yeah, you're right. I was putting my stock into some Clayton Tunes. I still have a ton of Clayton Tunes and really hope that some flash of greatness comes out and he just shows up big. I don't know if
Well,
it's happening.
but see, he could, right? Like the
Oh,
ones
good.
they're once they get injured, they trade around. What I mean,
Right.
shoot, more than likely you get people playing like for different teams even after the first round. Look at Kenny Pickett; he's on his third
Oh,
team.
gosh, Kenny Pickett. His cards were
Third
going
team.
ridiculous. I know, right? Already third team, and as a young quarterback, I swear he's just bouncing around. He
That's
he needs to find his rhythm, but he ain't gonna do it if he keeps going around.
so for all you people who invested in stock and
Yeah,
purchased those outrageous numbers for Kenny Pickett's first round. I'm
yeah,
sorry, it
yeah.
might come
It's
around, but you now have a Cleveland Brown, and as a Steeler, I think that's pretty sacrilegious. Like
ooh,
if you
it's
were a
salty.
Steeler
I know
fan,
it's
right?
salty.
So
Yeah,
it's
it's
like,
totally salty. I
That's the
mean, you don't
worst
want to
way
have that
possible.
yellow if you're a Browns fan, and you definitely don't want that brown if you're a Pittsburgh fan.
That's
So
crazy.
chances
So,
are,
but
if you
there he
have that
is.
Pittsburgh Kenny Pickett something, it's gone. It's gone.
Sorry, guys. I mean, I believe we saw some of those things going for ridiculous prices, like $2,000 for some rookie cards and
Oh,
stuff,
I
right?
mean, I saw some crazy things, and
Right.
I put a box full of all my Pickets, everything that was getting
So did
Pickett, Pickett,
I.
Pickett, put it in a
So
box,
did I.
and now I have a box of shit right there next to Matt Coral.
Oh,
I'm
see,
sorry, guys.
yep, that's right.
Love you.
But
Got
see,
love for y'all.
got love for them, but I
Glad
mean,
y'all
if they
like
don't
it.
produce, they don't produce, right? And they just didn't
That's right.
produce. But sometimes you get that value pick, and you get that unknown. Like people didn't have any faith in Brock Purdy. He went so late in the round, Mister
Oh my gosh,
Irrelevant,
Mr. Irrelevant it was
and then
beautiful,
boom,
honestly.
out of nowhere,
Yeah.
right? Or I hate to say it, God, I hate to say this,
Yeah,
but
we'll
Tom
say it.
Brady, Tom
Ouch.
Brady.
I
I
know it
mean, he
hurts rolling.
went late also, but he became a good quarterback. And fuck
It
Brady,
has quite the
whatever.
oaky aftertaste, doesn't it?
Whatever. Anyway, you
Hey,
see what
he's
I'm saying, though. You get
I
my
do.
point. So sometimes
Yes.
they either develop late, or you can get that value pick and tuck them away,
Yeah.
and boom, you got gold.
Right.
But
Oh,
it
for sure.
happens both way, and that's how this is kind of like gambling. So we
Yeah.
talk about sports so that we can see our best judgment call on predictions. But the things we
Oh,
can't
yeah.
really predict is when someone's getting injured or what have
Right. I
you.
mean, injuries you can't ever predict happening, honestly, and or how somebody might rebound from that. And so, I
Uh-huh.
mean, this is a perfect segue actually into like the all things collectibles, because as we're talking about more and more about the collectibles world here, right?
Yeah, that's right.
We want all you people out there that are looking to get into collectibles, or if you already have a things. I can't tell you how many times I talk to somebody be like, I have a box of cards just laying in the attic or somewhere over here under this that I've
Right.
had for years. I think at some point in a lot of people's lives, they've had a collectibles of some sort of collectible over the years, right? And it has been lost, and who knows, you might want to reflame that passion, but just kind of make sure that you have some good expectations of what you're looking to get by
Right.
doing research. Get some due diligence going, because honestly, don't just go into it blind, because nothing's worse. You could lose a lot of
Yeah.
money, as we have.
Yeah, I definitely I mean if it's not like just with obviously us, we don't know everything, but we do have some depth on research and everything. But not following just us, but follow multiple people, right? You could definitely
Right.
cross
I mean,
reference and stuff. It's really only as worth as much as people are going to pay ultimately. However, if you
mhm.
can't find anyone paying or don't see it for sale anywhere, it's a highly likely chance that's the one good indicator that, ooh, you got something
Mhm.
rare. If you don't see it
Yeah.
sold very often, huh?
Absolutely. And what I want to do here is really share our experiences with you viewers, and hopefully help you in your journey with collectibles. And not
Right.
saying we're going to be right all the time, not saying that
Nope,
even
definitely not.
it's a lot of this is opinion. This is very subjective to what our experience is. But
Hmm.
we want to share our hits and our misses. And
That's
then
right.
some of our inside information, as far as what we've learned along the way in this hobby, on how we can kind of like hedge our bets, if you will, or kind of control what you're going after, and what is a strategic way of doing it.
That's
Because
right.
I am a very analytical person, and so I have laid out for 6 ways to Sunday, on different ways of putting these things together, and making sure that our investments actually making sense.
So yeah, that's a good way to approach it. Whereas I am vastly different, and I go based off of emotion, which isn't always
Right.
the best way to do it. But I mean, if something speaks to me, like a piece of artwork that I think, man, that just looks cool, and I like it,
Right.
and I'll do some more research into it. Or man, that comic I really enjoy because I'm a huge Deadpool fan, huge
Yeah.
Deadpool fan,
Absolutely.
and so
And
like,
that kind of collectible, though, that kind of approach is not, it's not necessarily, that's not a bad thing either, but you stay within your means. But that's just passion. If you have a thing, you personally might have a thing for Deadpool, I might have a thing for Spider-Man. Those are two very different things, but not very different things, but two different characters, but I'm
Sure.
going after this one, right? So
Yep.
to me, the value is different than to you. And
Right.
that's the thing that you can't predict either. A lot of it's hype, some of it's out there, some of it's just weird. And so what it's worth to me could be very different to what it's worth to the
Right.
seller.
Yeah, man. It's really cool too, because like you just got cool things, and I think people. This is why people dig, people search, and this is why I like doing it too. Sometimes it's so great to hold on to something that very very few people were able to, and just it's like a
Right.
nice little story.
Yeah.
Like our buddy John, who worked at an auction house and stuff, and he would say like some of the things that he comes across, like a lock of Elvis Presley's hair, which is just
That's
kind of
insane.
funny.
I mean, just so random. Who wants a lock of hair, first of all? But
Uh,
there's someone out there that does.
That's
And
right.
it's Elvis's hair, and
It's Elvis, the
he is no
king.
longer with us. Honestly,
That's
it's
right.
just to say I have this random, odd,
Sure.
creepy piece of hair that every now and then I like to
You
smell.
say creepy. Okay, now
Smells like him. It
that
smells like
that
him.
gets fucking weird, man.
I just took it to a
Oh,
weird level. I know.
that was. But some people. That's why. Hey, I don't judge if that's what you buy it for. Get your rocks off, bro.
Whatever tickles your fancy there, right?
Right.
But
So I mean,
yeah. Go ahead.
as
Sorry.
far as all collectibles, though, I mean, what is one of your favorite things to collect then, off the sports realm?
So off of the sports realm, I've loved currency. I have a
Okay.
lot of currency. I have a lot of old pennies and nickels and dimes and stuff like that, and some neat currency. Our dad, he traveled the world when he was in the Navy, and he kept all of the different coins from all the different places he went. I
Sure.
think that's what started it. Is he
Yep.
gave me that bag of
Oh yeah,
all
yeah,
those
yeah.
different random coins, and I started flipping through them. I was like, holy shit, this is so cool. And then seeing that, like the feathered pennies or the wheat pennies, whatever you want to call them, seeing those pennies, and then it's like, oh, this is neat. There's a history to it. I don't know why I geeked out with that stuff. And then seeing I love Indian head pennies and the
Okay.
buffalo nickels. Those things, like, just looking at like the different native heritage stuff that was celebrated on those coins is neat and unique to me. But also just the idea of holding something in your hand that somebody held back in the 1800s is
Oh, that's
that
cool.
also.
I never thought of that actually. That's kind of funny that you say that.
I
That
mean, that
never crossed
literally
my
is the
mind.
history. Yeah, I mean, that's what I think about. That's how I take it. But like,
What kind
I'm
of
literally
shit did
holding
it
something.
purchase back then?
I
What did
know.
it? What was it used for to buy? Holy shit, that's a whole different
Or even
realm.
better, this right here was a week's pay.
Oof,
Oof,
oof.
that stings, but hey, they took it all the way to the bank.
No pun intended. So
I had to put that in there.
I got you. I got you. I
Yeah,
mean, that's
no,
kind of
but
funny. I mean,
yeah. What about you?
currency.
What's your favorite outside of cards?
Oh man. So as you know, I went to school for art, and I gotta say, art's so vague though. Like, I mean, yeah, I love collecting
Mhm.
artwork of different kinds. I mean, my personal favorite painter is Salvador Dali, and like he's
Amazing.
just like,
Actually, I was in
oh,
Tampa just recently. There's a Salvador Dali museum right there. It was amazing.
yeah, he's just I like that's crazy type of surrealism, and it's just freaking awesome, right?
Yeah.
However, painting is just an easy one for me to gravitate toward to, but then all the other random shit that I like too, like those fossils. I have megalodon tooths and
Oh
stuff. Like just
yes, the
geek
Meg
out over
too.
that stuff,
Love
and so
that.
those bones are really cool, and
Yeah.
it feels cool. So I never thought of like holding something like you mentioned of what dated back in the day. Bones are the best one, like megalodon tooth,
I mean, honestly,
however,
that Meg tooth that I have, that's a necklace. I love it. It's
they're just cool. They're
they
just
are
cool.
cool. I mean, shoot, it's our prehistoric creatures that are just, that's not centuries old. That's
Mm.
freaking that's
Millions.
millions of years old.
But the
It's
Meg
crazy.
movie, that movie put it on the like Megalodon, the Meg. Great
Oh yeah, I
freaking
never actually
movie.
watched that.
Love that movie. Both of
Do you
them.
really?
But I do.
I never watched either of them.
Thought they were great. I mean, I like them. But that also caused part of that and Jurassic Park and part of these movies. This is where like the media influence and stuff caused
Right.
those prices to go up on Meg tooths and or teeth, tooths,
See, then
or
that's the crazy
fossils.
thing. It takes
Hmm.
pop culture to really influence some of these things sometimes and
Right.
this is why being odd sometimes is very good because then you sit on something and that you actually find value to yourself because it's odd and you identify with it. Next thing you know, like you get a Queen's Gambit going on, and then chess becomes cool again because of
Right.
Queen's Gambit. It's like, oh my gosh, but that was actually chess is the shit. It is an amazing game. It doesn't take that, but it just opens it. What it does, it just opens the door to a wider audience that may never have looked through that lens before. So I love
Right.
it. But no, the
Kind of like
fossils are
Magic the
great.
Gathering, licensing.
Magic.
Licensing
The
was key
licensing
for
with
them.
Magic, that was amazing. The fact when they partnered with was it Mattel? Who'd they partner with?
So no, Hasbro, man. Hasbro brought
Hasbro.
them.
I'm
They
sorry, geez.
bought them. Yeah, dude, it
Hasbro
changed everything.
bought them and then brought them to the mainstream
Yep.
gaming world by merging different themes with them,
Yeah.
because the themes back in the day, our day, was the alpha, the betas, the revised, the unrevised, and you got
Yeah, the
into
typical
like
stuff,
the
right?
antiquities, um the Arabian Nights, Ice Age,
Legends
and
and blah blah blah. It's
legends,
tons, but it
right?
became
And it was
convoluted.
pretty generic, right? And convoluted, generic, convoluted. Then now you have the ones, and honestly, one of my favorites still is the Lord of the Rings one.
Yeah,
That
dude.
was
And see, when you
Fellowship
get
of the
that
Ring.
put on the map, come on, dude.
That
Post
was that was
Malone put out that
pretty
bounty
amazing.
for that ring, the one ring,
2 million.
dude. And now I think it's valued at like $2.6 million for the one
Right.
ring,
I mean, it's
the one of
absolutely.
one.
I mean, think about it. In our day, it was the
Black Lotus.
Black Lotus, which was the big sought after one, which is worth only. I mean, I think today it's still worth maybe to the tune of 15. I don't know, somewhere in the tune of 15 to 20
No, no,
more.
no. I don't know what it's worth right now. I think last I looked, the last sale of it, way less. So the last
Is it
I
coming
looked,
in?
the
What's an
alpha
unplayable
version,
card?
I think it's graded at a 9, maybe it could be a 10, but I think it went for
Okay.
900,000. So
Shit. Okay, I was
that was
way
the last
off.
sale. Yeah, way off. But it's still like
Okay.
you're talking about like one of the first versions. Wizards of the Coast, man, hats off. Great game. Great fucking game.
Amazing game. And then for those of you who don't know, Magic the Gathering, you take what idea from like Dungeons and Dragon, a
Sure.
board game, and a very very long process, having to have all the pieces together. It's very creative, and it was very has a lot of creativity and outside of the box thinking there, but it's stationary to a
Yep.
game now that is mobile. It's
Yep.
quick. You can
Yep.
add multiple people into it, whether it's two, or then you have commanders to where you can have multiples.
Right.
Just such a cool game where it just
Well,
all in one little deck,
so it
portable.
was exciting and everything, and it was really in the nerd world that we loved it, of course, and it was just
Oh,
just a take. But we started with the first version, the alpha, the beta, like those
it is.
versions. We had all of them, like that
Mhm.
whole like all the mocks, Pearl, Emerald, Ruby,
You
Sapphire, all
actually had
of
all the
those.
mock.
I
I had all
did.
the dual lands, like the
That's
double
right. You
lands,
did.
and
You had the dual
I
land,
did. I
and
had
I
the
had the
entire set of Arabian Nights because I loved Arabian Nights. It was my
and
favorite.
I had the Black Lotus on the revised edition, um,
Right.
and unlimited. I had the unlimited, and it's
Oh
to
man,
imagine the amount of money that we could have had for it now. And
I know it.
Hasbro put them on the map when they licensed, and this is what it is. Sometimes those things you can cherish, and people will still pay for it. But when it's put on the map like that, guys, look out for everything and keep your eyes on certain things. And sometimes you just got to know when to let it go, and whatever value to you is really what we're going to follow on for the series to come of what's the biggest things of trading right now. When are Beanie
Yeah.
Babies coming back around? When are like just any kind of trading shit that you can get into, because it's just like
That's right.
stocks. It goes
Because
up and it goes down.
I don't want to what happened to me to happen to our viewers, is that, and that's, I can still remember in fourth grade. Yeah, Casey Taylor, you freaking
Casey.
hoodwinked me. You traded my stupid icy manipulator. You're like, oh
That's
no,
right.
this will work, right? For that stupid
That's right.
Leviathan. I'm
That's
like,
right.
no, it's a 6/6 creature. It's definitely better. And yeah, and turns out that the icy manipulator was worth way more, way
Yeah.
more. So,
But
oh well, I got you
so we'll
learn.
try and
You learn.
help you
That's
out,
how
though,
you
right?
learn, and that's how I learned how much things were worth too. Is
That's right.
I got hoodwinked. But
Yep.
yeah,
So
this is great. We appreciate all you guys, and actually, that leads me to one last thing. Actually, Josh,
what's that thing?
I have a box. I have
What's
a
in the
box here.
box?
What's in the
What's
box?
in the
What's in the
box?
box?
What's
What's
in
in
the
the
What's in the
box?
box?
I don't
What's in the
know.
box?
What's in the box?
So this is our
I
next.
want to just say we are going to be giving things away, and here from the get go, we have the box, and we're going to go into what's in the box
What's in the
series.
box?
What's in the box?
What's in the
Where we're going
box?
to give away whatever is in that box to
Yep,
one of our listeners.
that's right.
Each week, hopefully, is the idea. But for the first, I will tell you what, for the first 100 subscribers, what we're going to
That's
do,
right.
I am willing to send for the first 100 subscribers, send a nice little package of collectibles. It could be some random stuff in there, but I'm going to send a nice little package
To the 100th.
to the first 100. That's right. You heard it
Oh,
first.
whoa!
All
All 100?
100. I am sending out 100 different items. I know that's crazy. I'm crazy.
I actually didn't
So
see that coming.
subscribe. I know. See, look, you didn't even expect that one coming.
I really didn't. That's true.
Yeah, I tell you.
What?
But
Oh,
first 100 subscribers.
hold on, I'm invested in this shit too. So what do you? I mean, what kind of shit are you sending? Hold on.
This is going to
What?
be. I look. It's nothing going to be anything too crazy. We have some cards. We have some things that we could give away. It's going to be some random packs. Honestly, some pre-pack or some repacks is what I'm looking at right now. So,
Okay. Okay. Look
but
at
for the
so
first 100, so
what can they
subscribe.
expect?
Put
Like
your put a like.
what
What's that?
what can they expect though? Like you're looking at a minimum dollar price of probably like a $5 price upwards to
Yeah,
what?
somewhere in that tune, $5 to $10. Nothing too crazy. I might sneak something in there nice. Who knows?
Ooh, I think that's a good idea. You
Yeah,
know,
we'll see.
surprise someone. Maybe
Yeah,
one lucky individual in the 100 could possibly get something pretty stout.
could be. We'll see. But until then, what we're going to look at now is for next week.
Yep.
So
What's coming to us next week?
for next week, there's the music. We're in it up right now. So next week we're going to
That's the wrap up tune.
I know it. That's right. So next week we're going to be talking more about the NFL draft. We're going to kind of reflect on some of that, but really what we're going to want to get into is the NBA updates, the NHL updates for those
That's
things.
right.
And we're going to go more into the collectibles world. What I want to do is I want to talk to you about the recent updates from Panini and Topps, and I missed out on that one.
We did, but that's a good one to
They
follow up
did
next
this
week.
time, Patrick Mahomes. Panini did. I'll just
We'll
say
touch
that.
on that next
I
week.
know it, so he can put ink on the paper for Panini now.
Yeah,
I don't know what they're
big
doing.
trading
The
shit,
lawsuit,
man.
I tell you, the lawsuits. There's some more, but
Man,
I
that's
appreciate
huge.
you guys.
Huge news. Cool, man. I can't wait till next week.
All right, next week. Peace.
All right, man.